Yes, to its skill point costs. Ah, did I get you? Yeah, that's what we call clickbait here in the business. If I just titled the video, "Should the World Over Heaven's skill point costs be reduced?" that would be boring. But if I have a big stinger, like "Should the World Over Heaven get nerfed?" it'll fearmonger everyone into clicking the video like idiots. Well, congratulations. You're an idiot. Jokes aside, the World Over Heaven's skill point costs are a little bit absurd, especially after the nerfs that it got to Reality Overwrite that kind of nuked most of the stand. Reality Overwrite Punch was making the stand a serious pain to play against basically at all times, and the nerf they did to it is one that I don't agree with, but it seems to have worked at least a little bit. The issue is that they didn't ever really address the main problem with the World Over Heaven, which is the fact that it's a freely time-stopping stand with a combo into time stop that just basically deletes anything that doesn't have time stop resistance. So now it is exactly what I expected it to be. It's a one trick, kind of like Star Platinum the World. If you go up against something without TS resist, you obliterate it. And if you go up against something that does have TS resist, then all but one of your moves gets disabled for most of the game. For those trying to figure out the details, everything but knives gets canceled. So the only move that you have at your disposal from your stand against someone that has TS resistance is knives. Arguably, you can get off Heaven Ascended smites sometimes, especially if you can kind of pseudo-confirm them off of Jawbreaker while using boxing. But against someone that knows what they're doing and is consistently keeping the pressure on, you're gonna struggle to use anything outside of knives. Which has its own problems that we'll get to after we finish the titular question, which is why exactly I think that the World Over Heaven skill point costs are ridiculous now. And really, when it comes down to it, I don't necessarily think that it totally comes down to the skill point costs needing to be reduced, but a lot of it more so, the skill point costs need to be reallocated, because where they are right now is just, it's strange. I don't quite understand the logic behind it. Starting with the hands down biggest thing, and that's the fact that in order to max the destructive power of this stand and get it to its full damage potential, you need to spend 25 skill points. That's right, 1/4 of all skill points that you have access to is dedicated just to making the stand do damage, something that you literally have to buy no matter what. That means that simply equipping the World Over Heaven, you are required to spend 25 skill points. If you're not doing that, something's wrong. That's not even factoring in Reality Overwrite in order to make it so your damage goes through passives. This is just, you need damage, you have to spend 25 skill points. What the hell? Now, the reason that I think that this makes so little sense is mainly because maxing out the time stop takes less skill points than maxing out your destructive power. Yeah, it takes 24 to get a maxed out time stop and 25 to simply use the stand. That doesn't really add up. And don't get me wrong, I know why they made the World Over Heaven cost so much. It's because they don't want people just maxing out the time stop. But if that was true, why the hell did they put all the points into your destructive power and not over in the time stop? Sure, if you made the time stop ridiculously expensive, then maybe people would be more inclined to not use their points there and use it elsewhere, or gimp on other stuff in order to get the time stop. But right now, you have to spend 25 points just to play. Time stop, totally unrelated. And those 24 skill points that you're using to max out the time stop are all but totally worthless. You're probably gonna hit that 50% cap with a level 1 or level 2 time stop, which means that all those points are totally worthless. So even if the time stop was super cheap, it would change absolutely nothing. The stand would play totally the same. Now, the other thing that bothers me about the World Over Heaven is its Heaven Ascended knives. This thing has consistently annoyed the crap out of me for the longest time, and at this point, I gotta say something. The World Over Heaven's Heaven Ascended knives cooldown being so much longer than regular knives and having no choice but to run Heaven Ascended knives if you want Heaven Ascended smite is absurdly frustrating. The AoE hitbox of the Heaven Ascended knives is no longer even close to worth the amount of time it takes for you to get your knives back versus having regular knives. It's just not. The AoE hitbox adds 8.1 damage. That's what it does. 8.1 damage is not very much. That's less than a single one of your M1s. Now, it used to stun as much as a normal knife if you hit someone with it, and then you could time skip over and combo, and that was really, really stupid. But that doesn't exist anymore. But despite the fact that that doesn't exist anymore, the cooldown remains the same? Like, what? Why? But okay. Let's just say that it's a good enough reason to increase the cooldown. But then why do you have no choice but to get this upgrade in order to get Heaven Ascended Smite? Getting the Heaven Ascended Knives upgrade is a give and take. It's not a direct upgrade. Because it increases the cooldown, it can't be a direct upgrade because there is a drawback with it. As far as I know, there's nothing else in the entire game that locks a move or direct upgrade behind something that actively has something that punishes you. If you can find something like that, let me know. But as far as I know, there's nothing. What I'm saying is, if you wanted to use normal knives and have access to Smite, you don't have a choice. You can't do that. So if you are in that vein of wanting to run normal knives, you have no choice but to get rid of Smite, which is a good move that you want to have access to. Why? You know what would be a better idea? Have it so the Heaven Ascended Smite upgrade is a branch off of your Reality Override upgrade, instead of off of a knife upgrade. Or, better yet, leave it after the knife upgrade and don't punish you for buying an upgrade. You spend skill points and it gives you a drawback. That doesn't make any sense. That little node down there that blocks you from getting to Smite has bothered me since the release of The World Over Heaven coming out. But you know what? It's all hopeless anyway, because none of this is going anywhere. Let's be real here. Uzu does not give a about this game or the people playing it. I know, it's hostile, it'll stir the pot, but we gotta be honest with ourselves here, guys. Come on. Updates come every 2 to 3 months, there's a bunch of skins, there's no community feedback being taken basically ever. Like, I don't wanna encourage developer hate, because obviously that's never good. But I can't just lie to you and say that the head developer and the owner is sitting in the back taking notes about what community wants. No, he doesn't care. I think it's painfully clear. So this won't change, whatever. It's just me talking to nothing. Anyways, what do you think about The World Over Heaven? I know a lot of people think it's still overpowered, mostly because it completely dumpsters on anything that doesn't have time stop resistance. And you know what? That's true. And that screams this stand needs a rework or something. But we all know that will never happen either. So whatever. It is what it is. We gotta work with what we got. Let me know what you think in the comments. With that though, I'm done here. So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. If you didn't like getting clickbaited, then you can leave a dislike, but I won't see it because YouTube removed the dislikes. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you next time.